morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I'm your elven host, Shorty. And again, we are filling the week of next summer releases with something from last week. This one is Justice League Infinity. And I wasn't rushing to review this one. This is going to be one of those, like, if there's nothing else to do, kind of like today, I'll give it a shot. And the reason for that is nothing to do with the creators. It's just, I've been reading some of the Justice League stuff at the moment. This is like the third thing that's coming out from them. And I'm just, I don't know, I'm not excited about it, which is a bit of a shame, I know. But then I did pay attention to it a little bit, and I realised one of the creators is one of my all-time favourite writers. It's Jem DeMatteis. I want to say he's one of my all-time favourite writers. He's also one of the most frustrating writers out there, because I've read quite a lot by him, and hardly anything lives up to the promise of what I expected to be in my head, simply because the first thing I read by him was Moonshadow, which is by far and away one of the greatest comic books I've ever read, and I love it, and it's dark and disturbing, and goes off on tangents that make Neil Gaiman jealous, and it's huge and emotional, but it's still genuinely amazing. And pretty much everything else he's done since then has not lived up to it. So when I started doing this one, it was with a little bit of, let's say, mild expectations at best, especially when you consider his kind of writing style, which is verbose and amazing, don't get me wrong, but then you mix that with a kind of Saturday morning cartoon art style. Not to criticize it, I think it's excellently done throughout, but when you've got that style with Jem DeMatteis, I was wondering what he was going to do with it. And it turns out what he's going to do is actually a hell of a lot. And in some ways, what he's doing paired with the art style works, and sometimes it doesn't. Because what he's doing is getting into deep questions about the nature of being, about what makes an individual or a person a living entity capable of self-determination. What place do each of us have in a universe, seemingly uncaring, but surrounded by people who do care? These are like big things to be doing when you've also just got several pages given up to a birthday party with the elongated man trying to steal Booster Gold's cake. It feels like there's just maybe too much going on, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, far be it from me to say, like, you know, just stay in your lane or anything like that. When you get given a title and it gives you opportunity to do something with it, I think you should do it. Add to that the fact that although the art style is quite simple, the artist never shies away from making some very bold choices. I mean, we're talking about some really esoteric design work here of excellently done aliens, technology which does feel as alien as the creatures in it, and then also just kind of, what's what I'm looking for? Like weird sciencey kind of stuff. Almost Lovecraftian, but not quite. But like deep sci-fi characters. I mean, look at that. Sorry, let me get that a bit more centered for you. Just so much stuff going on there as Amazo is going to try and discover who he is. It's genuinely great, and it drags your eye in, and it really makes you like appreciate the dialogue that's going on as well, because it's a lot of deep introspection. And with that happening in the void of space and unreality unbending around the main character, as he actually just puts his personality projection into a potentially other universe that isn't really there, it's just the way his mind is dealing with it. It's brilliant. Now we get onto the stuff which doesn't quite work so well. And that is because, yes, we do have like just a Justice League party, and that's all well and good and everything. But later on, we have they're interrupted by Granny Goodness and some of the person from Apocalypse you'd expect there, with the Justice League charging against the Apocalypse invaders, and it looks very cool. But while that's going on, the narration, which is the Martian Manhunter for record, is still talking about like questioning a sense of identity and why people behave in the way they do, and is this violence just another way of people trying to find their place in a universe or within themselves? And that's when it gets a little bit like, well, I think at a certain point you should just let the fight happen. It's going to be cool. It looks really nice, and you've got lots of cool sci-fi gadgetry and stuff going on, like when the other person from Apocalypse turns up, and then Mr. Miracle basically reverses the polarity of the boom tubes to suck them back through to Apocalypse instead of having to fight them. And there's lots of like cool kind of quippy stuff going on there. All that happening where you don't have to wait very long for it to go back to introspection and self-determination. It just becomes like there's cake and eating it. It's not melding as well as it should do. And it's a shame because I liked it way more than I thought I would, and it reminds me why I like DeMatteis as a writer, and the fact that he's willing to do this kind of thing. Maybe turn it down like just a notch, just turn it down by one, and I think it'll all come together absolutely beautifully, and I thoroughly enjoy it. And hello to some of you who just come on watching me live. But that's it. You've just come on and I'm going because I hit my 5-minute mark. I will hopefully come back and do a review tomorrow. I am now running out of stuff, so I might have to do a little bit more of a deep dive to find something that came out in the past that I've not reviewed. If nothing else, the cyberpunk graphic novel that I've been waiting for has arrived, so I might give that a look. But until then, look after each other. Stay safe, everyone. Bye now.